The desert had a way of swallowing sound, burying secrets, and drying tears before they ever had the chance to fall, and that was exactly what it tried to do the night rancher. Elias Crow found the woman collapsed beside the abandoned riverbed, her body tangled in torn cloth and dust. He had been riding home after trading cattle in the county seat, his horse's hooves echoing sharply across the barren silence, when he heard a faint, trembling whisper, a voice barely strong enough to exist. When he leaned down from the saddle and pulled back the tattered cloth covering her face, he saw eyes like wildfire, frightened, exhausted, but burning with a strange, fierce determination. She looked at him as though she had been waiting for him specifically, as though fate had placed him on that trail at that exact moment for her alone. "Please," she murmured, struggling to breathe. "Don't leave me." Elias didn't leave. He lifted her gently into his arms, wrapped his coat around her shivering frame, and carried her as though she weighed nothing more than a whisper. At his ranch, the storm clouds rolled in as he laid her on a cot near the fire. She watched him through half-closed eyes, studying the lines in his face, the honesty in his hands, and something in her expression seemed to soften, as if this rugged stranger offered something she had never known: safety. When she finally regained enough strength to speak, her voice was fragile but full of conviction. "You saved me, now claim me." Elias froze. Her words weren't desperate. They were deliberate, weighted, as if she carried a truth deeper than the desert that nearly took her life. But he wrapped a blanket around her shoulders and answered with steady calm, "I don't claim people, I help them. After that, their life is their own." Her gaze lowered, not with shame but with fear, a fear he didn't yet understand. That night, as she slept, Elias sat beside the fire and wondered who she was, what she had escaped, and why she seemed more afraid of safety than danger. But when dawn finally broke, he would learn that the woman didn't fear danger at all. She feared what she carried beneath the cloth tied around her ribs, a burden she hadn't shown him, a truth she believed might destroy the one man who had shown her kindness. And when Elias lifted the edge of that cloth, seeking only to change her bandages, he wasn't prepared for what he found. Not the bruises, not the lash marks, not the brand burned into her skin like a mark of ownership, but the letter hidden beneath it, creased, blood-stained, and sealed with the emblem of a man Elias despised more than anyone alive. A man whose cruelty had shaped Elias's past, stolen his future, and left wounds he thought long healed. The girl whispered, trembling, "I didn't want you to see it. I didn't want to hurt you." But the damage was already done. Elias felt his world tilt, shatter, and collapse beneath the weight of the one truth she carried in silence. She wasn't just a victim. She was the daughter of the man who ruined everything he once loved, and saving her might have just resurrected the past he never wanted to face again. To continue, stay with us. Chapter 2 reveals the truth she ran from, the choice he must make, and the twist that changes everything. Before going ahead, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and never miss the next chapter of our Wild West tales. The storm that had threatened the horizon the night before finally broke with violent thunder the next morning, shaking the ranch house as though the heavens themselves demanded a confession. And Elias stood beside the cot staring at the letter he could not bring himself to unfold. The woman, Adira, as she finally revealed, watched him with a trembling dread, hands curled protectively over her chest, where the brand scarred her skin. "I didn't choose him," she whispered. "I didn't choose any of it." Elias didn't speak, not yet. His pulse thundered louder than the storm outside, echoing with the memory of the man whose symbol marked the seal, Silas Dane, the outlaw warlord who had burned Elias's family homestead to ash 15 years ago. The man Elias had sworn to kill if he ever crossed paths with him again. The man whose daughter now lay helpless in Elias's home. Adira took a slow, painful breath. He's not a father. He's a monster. I ran because I learned what he planned to do next, something worse than anything he's ever done. He wants to burn the valley settlements. Your valley, your people. Elias felt his jaw tighten, rage and disbelief battling inside him like twin storms. And you expect me to believe you? She didn't flinch. She didn't cry. She simply reached for the letter and pushed it gently toward him. Read it if you want the truth, or kill me if you believe I'm part of him. Elias didn't kill. He never had. But he opened the letter with hands that shook like gunfire, and as he read the words scrawled by Silas Dane's hand, the commands, the threats, the map marked with every plan. Attack. The weight of her truth crushed him. She had risked her life to escape with this, risked crossing the desert, risked dying alone, because she hoped someone, anyone, would stop a war before it began. He sank into the chair beside her, breath uneven. Why come to me? Her answer was soft, broken but honest. Because I heard the stories of the man who once lost everything and still protected everyone else. I thought, if anyone could stop him, it was you. Elias stared at her, at the bruises, the scars, the brand, the desperate hope hidden behind eyes that had seen too much pain, and the anger he clung to began to crumble. She wasn't Silas's weapon. She was his prisoner, his escapee, his warning, and maybe his redemption. Lightning flashed across the room, illuminating the tears she tried to hide, and Elias finally understood the meaning of the words she had spoken when he first saved her. You saved me. Now claim me. Claim me didn't mean possession. It meant responsibility, protection. A plea for someone to choose her when her own blood had abandoned her humanity. Elias stood and placed his hat on the table beside the fire. I won't claim you, he said gently. Her face fell, until he continued. But I will stand with you, and I'll stop the man who did this to you, not because of who you are, but because of who he is. For the first time, she allowed herself to breathe, to truly breathe. Over the next days, as the storm cleared, Elias prepared for the fight ahead, gathering allies, studying Silas' map, and protecting Adira as though she were the last fragile piece of the world he still believed in. And something inside him began to shift. The more she trusted him, the more he felt the weight of that trust change him, heal him. The night before they would ride to confront Silas Dane, Adira stood on the porch wrapped in Elias's coat, the wind tangling her hair. I ruin. Do your peace, she whispered. Elias stepped beside her. Peace was never meant for men like me, but purpose. He looked at her then, truly looked. Purpose finds us when we least expect it. She leaned her head against him, not in romance, not in hunger, but in gratitude, in connection, in the quiet understanding of two people who had lost everything and somehow found each other in the ruins. And though the battle ahead would test them, scar them, and change the West forever, one truth remained unbroken. She had saved him just as much as he had saved her. And together, they would face the man who created both their nightmares. The story didn't end there. No great story ever does. But this chapter, this moment, this new beginning, belonged to them alone. And if you want the next chapter, where Elias faces Silas Dane, where the truth behind Adira's past is fully revealed, and where the West witnesses a reckoning like never before, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and stay with us for more unforgettable Wild West tales.